storm. We could swim and fish all day, not a worry or a care. When we got
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Humanity Matters. Tonight's episode is called Assessments Insanity. And I just want to thank you for tuning in again, or if this is your first time, thanks for being with us. I hope you enjoy the show. But before we go into anything further with the show, I want to make a public apology to our host Al and my friends and the audience. Well, what I have to apologize is something I said that was very hurtful and ignorant, and I'm sorry I said it, but I said it so many times that I have to make a true apology. I'll start out by saying that anytime I get upset or angry or depressed, I enjoy listening to music because it makes me feel better. That's how I deal with grief and anger, and I did all my life since I was a young girl. But grief and anger affects people differently, and Al, when he's angry and upset, he doesn't usually like to hear music because, well, it's not that he doesn't enjoy music, because he does, but what I said is something that put him down and insulted him. What he means is he doesn't like to listen to music because they're rich. They're millionaires, and they got their big break. So he's a talk show host, and he didn't get his big break, and he's been on the show for 9 years, and this marks his 9th anniversary, in fact. And I just want to say that I'm proud of him because he's accomplished a lot, and he has had the show for 9 years. And personally, I'm angry and upset at the fact that he hasn't gotten his big break yet, because he works his butt off, sometimes 12 to 20 hours a day. 12 to 20 hours a day, sometimes 6-7 days a week. And he still hasn't gotten anywhere, so that is upsetting. Well, the comment I made was that singers and rock bands can't help it, they chose their career as singers and rock bands. And it sounded like I was saying that Al didn't choose a career, but of course he did. And he's just as good as any rock band or singer out there. And not all singers and rock bands make their big breaks either. So that was unwarranted to say that, because just because you can carry a tune doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a hit. Just like if you're a talk show host, you don't necessarily get your big break. And there's how many talk show hosts, how many talk shows on TV today? But I guess it's just a matter of time, and it takes a while. I don't know how long it takes singers and rock bands to become successful. I guess they have to work hard at what they do for many years, or sometimes they're overnight successes. And talk show, Al is a talk show host and an actor. And it's upsetting because he did over 100 films in Pittsburgh, and he only got chosen for one production company and one speaking role when he was real young, back in the late 80s. And it's just that he's accomplished so much since he was real young, and he's still a success story today. He just hasn't made his big break. So I'm asking you personally, in addition to my personal apology, to help Al get his big break, because he has been at it for a long time, and it's ridiculous because there's so many talk shows out there today. Every time you turn around, someone's a talk show host. So if they can do it, Al can do it. But he needs support, and he has my support, and he has Chris's support, and his sisters and friends, and Al has a lot of fans. So I would like you to be a fan, and if this is your first time watching the show, I'd like you to judge the show, and, well, it'll be your opinion if you tune in the future. And if you've already been watching the show, you already know that Al's very well at what he does. And we're proud of him. And I apologize again for what I said, because he's just as good as any rock star or singer or talk show host. So I want to introduce our host, Albert Torcaso.
All right.
And our co-host is Chris Weis.
That would be Chris Weis, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, we don't have a doctor in the house this month, so I can't get you an aspirin.
That's right.
I had to use that. That was from last month. Yeah, real quickly, we have to get to our tape roll, but real quickly, let me make it perfectly clear. It's not that I'm upset that there are rock stars out there and people got their break as a rock star.
I explained it.
Well, you did, but I want to just clarify something. What I have a problem with is one of the things that Annette had said was, and what she frequently says is that they chose to be a singer, and she made it sound as if, you know, all you have to do is sing, maybe play some clubs and you're going to get your break. So I made her aware of the fact that Justin Bieber, who's extremely famous now and has the most views ever on YouTube, where he's in second place now, I think, to Gangman style guy, but any rate from Psy. At any rate, he essentially had to he had to resort to being on YouTube to get his break. No producer or whatever contacted him. So that's why when she says these things, I was getting, well, let's just say ticked off would be an understatement. And as far as there are a lot of other talk shows out there, she's correct. There's even a lot of talk shows now on PCTV, and some do it differently. Some do it maybe a little bit more professional or whatever. But I will tell you, you will never find another talk show host quite like me. And that's not bragging, it's the facts. And I am probably one of the most blunt people you will ever see on TV. That alone should get us our break. However, let me just say that this is 2013, so Happy New Year. This is the beginning of my 9th season, but this is more than the beginning of another season for Albert Torcaso. And I'm going to save some of this for the sound off. But let me just say that this is going to be a journey that all of you and all of us are going to take. And quite frankly, and this is for my friend Eric and Greg in the back, in the control room, and for everybody that can hear the sound of my voice, I have made a conscious decision to change the face of America. Single-handedly, I have decided to come up with a way to do it. Now, I'm going to need hundreds of you, then thousands of you, then millions of you, and then maybe even hundreds of millions, to join in this new vision that we will be talking about throughout this year and throughout future years. But I have decided there will no longer be the 98% Americans. What we are going to change is the dichotomy in the financial future of most Americans. Now, can't get into how, but we're going to change our brain, our mindset throughout the next year and the future. And those of you sitting at home that are in financial destitution or dealing with all kinds of CRA, something else, we're having a reckoning and a reawakening that is going to turn this station, this city, this state, and this nation on its ears. it's going to be that dramatic. And in a positive way. But it's time that more Americans gain health, gain wealth, and actually live the American dream. And I'm going to do whatever I can to ensure that that happens. But I will need experts from you guys and gals out there. But let me tell you, if you're looking for someone to motivate you, if you're looking to change your life in a way that you can't even dream of today, if you're looking to have a wholesale change financially, now, I can't promise you anything, and I'm not advertising. I am telling you, however, there's a reckoning, and it started about 3 weeks ago with me. And trust me when I tell you, you out there who've been listening to me for a while, you know that when I say something, it gets done. Well, I'm telling you, it's time that more of us earn an income that actually is something we can be proud of, that we are paid what we are worth, and that we have our rights just as the 2% does. So if you're ready to get electrified, if you're ready to change your life for the better, and if you're ready to wake up the politicians, wake up the nonprofits, wake up the corporations, wake up the universities, and wake up the entire corporate society on this globe, if you're ready to bring back humanity and the respect and dignity and prosperity that we all deserve and never really had, if you're ready, stick with me. And this show, no offense to PCTV, and no offense to the control room, this show is only 1% of what I am speaking about. If you want to know the real business of what I'm doing and how we're going to change this, frankly, this planet, you need to go to www.humanitymatters.org, and you need to go there at the very least, twice to 3 times a week. But there is going to be a wholesale change. Because quite frankly, I am tired of being financially destitute. I am tired of watching animals die in front of my face because of non-caring, money-hungry, rotten, disgusting veterinarians that would rather let the animal die than let you pay them in a few weeks. Now, I'm not saying every veterinarian does that, but let's put it this way. On a scale from 1 to 10, right now, veterinarians are 0. They don't even get to 1. On my list, you're a 0. You still matter. You're a 0. With all that, yeah, I took up more time than I was supposed to, and I may not get the sound off tonight because I got to give my people their time. Chris has to get his time, and of course Annette does. But let me tell you something. If you're a veterinarian and you won't let somebody pay you in a couple of weeks, and you're being afraid of being ripped off, takes priority over that animal's life, do me a favor. Really, seriously, do me a favor. Get the H out of the business. Just get the H out of the business. You know what? This is 2013. Get the hell out of the business. That's right. You need to wake up and recognize. I'm sorry, America. I don't want you to turn off the TV. Tell your children to hold their ears because it's coming one more time. This is a specific message for you veterinarians who allow animals to die because you won't let somebody pay you in a couple of days. For you, do me a favor. Get the hell out of the business. Now, with that, we're going to go back to heaven. We're getting out of hell. We're going back to heaven. And with that, we're going to talk to our good friend Eric and our other good friend Greg, and we're going to tell them to please take us to the pre-recorded interview.
reassessment was non-uniform, and they had to do a reassessment.
Right.
But the court would not declare the base year system to be unconstitutional per se. Instead, it required, at least for the time being, a county-by-county challenge to the particular base year that any county was using. Now, at the time, we put on evidence that most counties in Pennsylvania were worse than Allegheny County. Some of them, for example, Butler, hasn't done a reassessment since 1969. And other counties, many other counties. I think Washington County at the time was also very old. I don't have Washington counties with me. Westmoreland was 1972. Lackawanna County in the eastern part of the state was 1973. Luzerne County in 1965.
Oh my.
So there were many counties that were old. Allegheny County had done it in 2002.
Right, so they were the new, they were the most recent.
But with considerable change in value, it became very non-uniform.
Right.
But again, others, and the measures of non-uniformity were objectively done. They were done by a state agency, and we explained all of that. We demonstrated all of that.
Right.
Nevertheless, Allegheny County went through a reassessment. Again, they hired a firm to do this. It was a computer-assisted assessment. Not even county council knew the methodology that this firm was employing.
Right.
They regarded it as proprietary.
Right.
And between at this point it's 2009
Right.
and 2011, when they were supposed to be completed with their reassessment, they were under an order, a direction from the court to do submit a plan, a detailed, comprehensive plan, and to their results on a continuous basis and make adjustments as necessary to produce results that,
Right.
that would meet uniform standards. There's an organization known as the International Organization of Assessment Officers, IAAO, it's International Association of Assessment Officers, right? IAAO, that studies methodology and produces standards that they believe are achievable. In any event, Allegheny counties, when they were done, showed some improvement. Some areas were a significant improvement over the 2002 base year. Other areas were not. Again, we asked the court to require Allegheny County to continue to work on their reassessment until they produced adequate results. Some of the tax districts, including the Pittsburgh School District, objected to that and claimed or argued that they needed results then because the way state law is written, they had to pass a budget. If they passed the budget and in the ensuing year after the reassessment, there were a lot of appeals taken and the property owners won those appeals, they wouldn't be able to adjust their millage to reflect a reduction in total value. So the court at that point put an end to the reassessment basically and allowed an appeal process to go through. The problem with that is that under normal circumstances, the Office of Property Assessment would be able to continue to work on the reassessment and improve it. It wasn't given that opportunity. The only thing that could be done was go through property appeals. But the product that was produced by the county in many instances was unsatisfactory. Again, did not meet measures of uniformity that were objectively applied, and forced property owners to take appeals. And the appeal process is not a way to achieve uniformity.
Right.
It's too difficult, particularly for low value people.
Right. So let's move forward now. The actual case that people are appealing now, is that 2011? Is that 2012?
Well, it's 2012 reassessment that goes into effect in 2013.
So we'll go
this year.
Okay, so let me move forward because unfortunately, time constraints with the 1 hour show. However, essentially what I want to know is what can a person do in order to have a victory in the appeal. And also, you said that this affects the lower end, you used a different terminology, the lower end, however.
Lower value properties.
Lower value properties.
owners.
So what can a person do that may be watching right now?
Not always. I mean, it could affect any property.
Right, it could.
But these computer-assisted mass appraisals tend to overvalue lower value properties and undervalue
right.
higher value properties.
Makes sense.
It shouldn't. I don't know why that is the case.
Right.
We still haven't been able to figure that out. But nevertheless, what property owners are left with right now
Is the appeals process.
is the appeals process. And what they need to do is they need to start off by understanding how, as well as they can,
Right.
how the county arrived at their value,
Right.
what comparables were used to
Right.
produce their value, and independently look at whether there are better comparables that should have been used, better either in the sense of properties that are more similar in physical characteristics or are located geographically in a more relevant manner. It's in the immediate neighborhood or market that their house is
Right.
in, as opposed to another community that might not be the same market. So what they need to do is present to the decision maker.
Right.
And there's varying levels of decision maker.
Right.
Number one, they need to look at the comparables and they need to look at the property description. They have to
Okay.
make sure that the property description is accurate. If it says that their property is in fair shape and it's in poor shape, if it says that there's 3 bedrooms and there's 2 bedrooms, if
Okay.
it says that there's central air conditioning and there's not,
Right.
on the county's website, there is a building information page. Now, people, when they look at the county's website, they have to be careful that they're looking at the 2012 reassessment page, not the 2011 page, because they're
Okay.
both on
The
the
2012 reassessment page.
Yes.
The other thing is you speak about having different comparables. I can tell you myself, I have no idea where to find either of the comparables. I understand there is a county site that they have their own comparables, but you mentioned finding other ones. Now, if you don't really have that expertise, how is somebody listening who may be computer illiterate or just not really versed in it, I mean, how are they going to find it? Because I have no idea where to look, and I have a case coming up soon.
Right, right. Well, whether your appeal
It's
is
confusing.
whether your appeal is with the
It's with the property reassessment office.
appeals office. Well, it's
Right.
not the Office of Property
Okay,
Assessment.
appeals office.
It's an independent,
Okay.
what is it, Board of Property Assessment,
Okay.
Appeals and Review.
Okay.
That is the first stage. It's an administrative proceeding.
Right.
You're before a hearing officer. If you're not satisfied there, you can appeal it to court.
Just call the police.
Right.
All
But,
right.
but whether it's at the administrative
Right.
level or at the court level, the evidence is still the same. You're trying to
Right.
show that your value is not what the county says it is, it's something different. And again, the two ways are to show that
Right.
the property characteristics aren't correct, and they're not what the county says they are, or that the comparables that were used by the county, and again, they are on the website, they're on
Right.
the county's website, that those comparables are either not sufficiently recent or they're not geographically the best, that
Okay.
there's better comparables out there.
Where would you look for the other
Certainly the best
comparables?
way of doing it is to get an appraisal. If you
Right.
can pay for an appraisal, that's an appraiser's expertise is to find the best properties to demonstrate what your property's true
Right.
value is. If you can't afford an appraiser, one site that was suggested, Zillow, ZILLOW.com.
Right.
You could look at that, put in a specific zip code.
Right.
You can put in other parameters such as last year, last 3
Right.
years. You can expand the geographic area
Right.
until you can find properties that are comparable size-wise, age-wise,
Right.
neighborhood-wise, and identify specific properties, and then look at the county website for those properties to see again how comparable
Right.
they are physically.
Now, let me ask you, what happens if your home is such an old home, I guess I hate to use the word, but it's not really comparable to the other properties on your street, in the sense that maybe your house is a lot older? What do you do in that case if you can't find something theoretically that's comparable? in
Well,
terms of size and
right.
age.
And that's really an appraiser's,
That's-
a job for an
Well, let me
appraiser.
ask you this
It's not a
then.
job for a homeowner. What an appraiser would do is if there's not an immediate comparable
Right.
property, they would find a comparable property. It might not be in the
Okay.
same market.
Right.
Then they could compare markets
Right.
with the market that you're
Okay.
in and make adjustments.
Makes
But
sense.
that's too difficult
Well,
for
let me
a
ask you this.
property owner to do.
Now, I hate to ask you this, but generally speaking, what is the price range that an appraiser usually charges? Because I know most people probably, I'll say a lot of people may not be able to afford that.
Well, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't
So
help
you
you.
have no idea.
I can't,
Okay.
I knew at one point, but I don't know
Right.
well enough to tell you
Well, let me
now.
ask you this then. Okay, let's
But
say.
that's not stopping the person from, if you can't
Right.
afford it, go to your local library.
Okay.
You don't have to have a computer. You
Right.
can ask for the assistance of the librarian
Okay.
to,
To look up Zillow.
to get you on the internet. Look it up. You can still do your homework.
And take pictures.
Certainly take pictures of your home if you question the condition that the county claims your,
Right.
your property is in. If there's an abandoned property next door, if
Right.
there's been a lot of crime or
Right.
theft or violence in your neighborhood, that's a significant factor.
Okay.
Anything that would contribute to what a willing buyer would pay for a property,
Right.
your property.
Well, let me ask you this, not to cut you off, I apologize for that, but I lost my question. That's okay, I forgot it. That happens sometimes, even to the best of the TV shows. But essentially, if you're doing these pictures, and for whatever reason, that's not the question. I remember now, everybody. I meant to say, that was a lousy thing to say. When they do the reassessment, is it only exterior, or do they also do interior? So what is the homeowner or property owner, business owner, what have you, focusing on? Only the exterior of these homes,
Oh,
or
absolutely,
what?
absolutely not. They, unfortunately, and that's part of the problem in Pennsylvania, there are some very archaic aspects to Pennsylvania assessment law.
This is what we need to know.
One of them is that the Office of Property Assessment does not have a right to enter your property. So unless you permit that person into your
Right.
property, all they see is the exterior.
Right.
So they're making judgments based on how they view the exterior, what your inside is
Correct.
like. They don't know that your walls might be falling down, or
Right.
you might have significant leakage or mold or other interior conditions. That's why you have to point that stuff out to them. But then, even if they could get into your property, they wouldn't have time. I mean, they spend
Of
such
course.
limited time looking at the exterior that there would be no way that they could go in to each of everyone's
So
property.
then here's my question. If you are taking photographs, and obviously you can't take photographs of your neighborhood interior, you can only do the exterior. So if
Well,
you basically
generally
only have that, will that be good enough?
Generally, that is what a buyer of your property would look at also.
Correct.
If you're putting your property up for sale,
They're gonna look at
they're
it.
not going in
Right.
your neighbor's interiors, they're looking at the condition from the exterior.
Right.
Because that's going to influence the value of your property. And yes, take pictures of dilapidated neighboring properties that are going to bring your property value down.
Okay. Now let me ask you this, in closing, worst case scenario, you are in the low end, lower valued properties, and you have an assessment that is reassessed way too high, but you lose the appeal, and for whatever reason, you go to common police court and you also lose that appeal. Is there anything of any kind of help for that homeowner? Because I have a great fear that there are going to be a lot of Pittsburghers that frankly are older adults or disabled or very low income that are going to find themselves
Absolutely.
forced to lose their house. And I'd like to know what would you think about
I don't want to go that far, but.
I don't want to go that far,
Well,
but you understand what I'm
Yeah,
getting at.
either because people don't know enough
Right,
to
and
take an appeal,
Right.
or they take an appeal and they don't succeed because they
Right.
don't have the resources to hire an appraiser to
Right.
do it properly, and they end up with a higher assessment.
Right.
Excuse me. What I can say is that our office is going to continue to
Help as much as you
look
can.
at this. We're going to continue to study to the best extent we can how this plays out. We'll do another challenge if necessary. You can appeal every year. Every year you're going to
Okay.
have an assessment. So if you don't succeed this year,
You can try
do it-
again.
You can do it again next year. The one other thing that we did a number of years ago, Pittsburgh was overcharging people interest and penalty rates.
All right.
We went to court in 2003, and as a result of that case, they brought their interest and penalty rate
Brought it
down.
down.
But they also agreed that they would allow persons to enter into affordable payment plans.
Oh, good.
Where basically, if you qualify, you can continue to live in your property and pay as little as $50 a month on
That's
back
good.
taxes and keep your property. So people should know whether it's called an affordable payment plan or a hardship payment plan. If you fall behind in your taxes, now I'm not recommending this. This is
Right,
the
I
best
understand.
course.
This is a bad course,
Because
possibly.
even now, what the city is charging is 10% interest,
Right.
which is well over the market rate. They were charging 18% and compounding
Oh,
that
Moses.
monthly back then. But now it's 10%, which is still too high.
Right.
So whatever equity you have in your house, whatever
Right.
value, you're going to lose it by
Right, the
by
overcharge.
having 10%
Right.
continuing to build up in your property, but at least it allows people to stay in their property,
Right.
pay $50 a month, and at some point when they sell it or they pass away, they're going to lose whatever value they had in their property, but
But at least they'll have a house.
they'll have their house.
So let me ask you something. Now, this plan, I've never heard of it personally. If a person gets into trouble and wants to work with them on this plan, and for whatever reason they cannot talk to the right people or whatever, where would they go to seek help to speak to them about getting on this $50 or $100 or whatever plan?
$50, yeah, and I'm not aware, I'm not hearing that.
Because I've never heard of it. I personally never heard of it.
Right, when they need to talk to the real estate section of the, I think it's the treasurer, the city treasurer's
Okay, the
office.
real estate
Real
attorney's
estate
office.
division, and as far as I know, the city has been good. The current treasurer,
Okay.
Margaret Lanier, she understands the process. And I don't think that there will be a problem obtaining that if you qualify. And
Good.
there's certain criteria
Right.
that people need to
Well, I'm
to
thinking
go
that,
through.
generally speaking, I mean, I could be wrong, but it seems to me that people who are needs-based disabled and senior citizens are probably going to qualify for that. But in wrapping this up, what is it that you would like the audience to know? What are the key points that you want them to know, and what they need to know in order to have
Well, the one
a victory?
The one last thing that I want to say is when the Supreme Court decided the case back in 2009,
Right.
They did require Allegheny County to do a reassessment. As I said, most other counties in Allegheny County were worse than most
Exactly.
other counties in
Right,
Pennsylvania were worse than Allegheny County.
Right.
They remain worse. Butler, Westmoreland, if there are property owners, and what the court said then was, we're not going to set statewide standards.
Right.
We're going to let the legislature do that. The legislature has never
They
done it.
failed to do it,
It's-
that's
it's-
correct.
It's still as much a mess as it was then. The court did indicate if this type of case gets back up to the court in a matter of a couple of years, and they see that the legislature hasn't
Not
set
acting.
standards, they will do it.
All
So,
right.
so if there are lower value property owners in other counties, and I mentioned Butler, I mentioned Westmoreland, and other counties
You
around
said
the state.
Lackawanna too, right?
I said Lackawanna, Luzerne, Northumberland, there's a number of them.
Right.
Actually, most counties
All
are
right.
very bad. They should contact our office and we'll look into it.
All right. Now, people who want to contact you, how would they get in touch with you? Is there a website? Is there a phone number?
There is a website, it's the Community Justice Project, and I think it's Community Justice, I should know this, but I think if they Googled it, it's communityjusticeproject.org.
Okay.
And they can contact us. Unfortunately, we are a statewide office, we're very limited. We have 6 attorneys
I
throughout the
believe
state,
that.
and we certainly don't have the capacity to
Right.
represent individuals.
I understand that.
We do the cases that have broad impact, that affect lower
Right.
income persons. But if people get in touch with us, we'll look at their circumstances as well as we can. And if it's in one of these counties where there is objective indication that the assessment the current assessment is not uniform, then we will look at doing the same kind of case in another county.
That sounds good. I'm glad to hear that. So if you are from another county, and you're watching this online, and you're having some issues, you want to definitely contact the Community Justice Project.
Yes.
Right? Community Justice Project. Now I have one final question, and this is not related to assessments, but this is related to you. One question, as you know, this is Humanity Matters, and my mission is to improve the lives of all people, and it doesn't matter what race or financial situation, and so it's all about humanity. So I have to ask you, you're an attorney, and we know that there are many attorneys who are able to do very well financially, and some command millions or more dollars, but per case, as we know, like class action lawsuits, what have you. My question to you is, why did you choose to specialize in this field, and also why the Community Justice Project? Why do you care about humanity? And I know that's seen as a tough question, but that is
our the
why-
mission of our project. Every attorney who works here and attorneys who work through in the legal services network,
Right.
the public interest law network in Pennsylvania, are dedicated to represent those who do not have the resources to obtain justice otherwise. Why I'm doing it personally is
Right.
because I guess it was the way I was brought up. I was raised in a Christian household,
Right.
and I've never experienced a great deal of personal want.
Right.
And I also never felt a great deal of need to have a high income.
Right.
We get paid very well, in my opinion. I don't need higher income.
But you understand what I was...
But it's more important that we are able to do something to help people manage, help people sustain themselves. That's why we're here.
Well, the reason why I asked that, and I liked your answer, and I thought it was very good, but the reason why I asked that is there are definitely other options. Every attorney that is in this project or throughout the state, such as you said, like neighborhood legal services, they could be in private practice and they could make a higher financial reward. The fact that you choose to be in this field and that you've been bringing these types of cases and that your project has been doing this, I personally find it to be very helpful and rewarding, and I want to thank you for that. And I would like you to give that message to all the people involved with the project. And, this is the kind of thing that is something good. It's a good aspect of humanity, and I think that it needs to be brought out. So I personally want to thank you for making that decision. In the meantime, we will be going back to the live portion now. I know it's been a long time, but we have a few things to do on the live portion, so thanks for watching, and thank you for being who you are. Thanks a lot, Donna.
Okay.
And what do you know, we're back. Couple of things I want to clarify. First of all, that was Don Driscoll, the gentleman who actually brought the case that brought in the Allegheny County reassessments. And he brought it because there was non-uniformity and lower valued properties, and people on the low end financially were getting their properties valued too high. I want to also make a comment
He was
that...
on TV.
That's
He
true.
was
He
on
was
the
on the
news.
news. He was on the news. And I was able to land that interview. And also, he did not agree with the name assessment insanity. And I would have to agree with him. The people in the assessment offices do try to do what is right and fair. Some of the systems need to be tweaked, but they are doing their best. Now, with regards to... it may have confused the viewers. At first I was talking about how this is going to be a year, and future years how we're going to try to make everybody's life a lot better, more than ever before, and how I talked about you may be exposed to other things through going to my website and what have you. Then right after that I started talking about the veterinarians. Well, let me clarify. I want you to start going to www.humanitymatters.org on a weekly basis at the very least. And also email me at albiz22h@gmail.com. Because let's just put it this way. there is going to be a major change in my life. There already has been, and in everybody's life that I can personally impact. And through different media and medium, I can hopefully help your situation in some way. I can't promise anything, but through education, what have you. Now, with regards to why am I so angry, this is a separate issue at the veterinarians. If you look at the credits, and I would ask you to please tune in and watch the credits at the ending, you will see that there's about 6 or more animals that died in the last 3 years. And they were either my animals or my family's, like 3 different households, 3 totally different households. Well, to give you an example, Tashi Lynn is what I call my grandchild. She died because her mother, the person that owns her, could have made a bill and paid the veterinarian literally a few days later. And once again, the veterinarian said, we will not accept a bill. We will not accept any kind of payment. You have to have it up front. And of course, the last 2 animals that I had also died because literally a few days later, I would have had the money, but because they're not willing to bill you. Now, their argument is that they were cheated by people when they did allow billing. And I can certainly understand they don't want to be cheated. That's not why I'm angry at the veterinarians that do this. Why I'm angry is when you know a person has been a loyal customer and has always paid you, and even when they did used to bill you, they paid you and never missed a payment, and you basically cut it off for everybody in the hopes, I guess, of being uniform and fair. That's all well and good, but your actions are causing animals to die. And that's why I say, if you're not willing to work on a one-on-one, case-on-case basis, and you have loyal customers that pay you, and you're going to allow their animals essentially to suffer and die,
That's wrong.
you don't need to be in that business.
That's
And I won't
wrong.
apologize for that. Now, I will tell you, I still will be going to veterinarians, and you may be pissed at me, but by law, you still have to help my animals when I do have the money. But it's more about the money than it is the animal. And I don't care what anybody says. They could say that's not true. The fact is that Tashi Lynn did not have to die. Little Angel did not have to die. Miracle Joy did not have to die. Cheyenne Maria did not have to die. And of course, a few others from different ones. And it all, again, this happened not because people were looking for a handout, but simply because the way their money comes in, because they're, disabled, whatever, maybe 3 or 4 days later, they could have been paid. But there you go. So that's about it. So that's the reason why I'm upset about that. Now, what I will say is this. There's going to be a change in everything I do. We're still going to do the show. We're still going to do fun stuff, blah, 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 and all that. But there is definitely a new deadline, a new pressure. So there's going to be some major changes. With that, I'm going to give it to Chris to get the calls, and to 2 calls, and then take your sound off. And he's got the shakes. I guess I scared him with that 4-letter word I used. But anyway, sorry about the 4-letter word. Anyway,
his
Chris, I believe
stomach
you might
is
have a call or
bothering him.
something. You might want to
Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
You're not feeling good.
Who?
You,
Nah.
I can tell. You're shaking. You shouldn't have ate something before you left. And I'll tell you the story about Tashi Lynn. It's not because of the money situation or anything. Our vet, somebody from the vet's office, which was in Bezak,
Partly the money,
up in
though, Donna.
on West
Time
Street
out.
and
Time out.
West
Donna,
Road,
time out.
the dog, somebody told us to give Tashi Lynn Tylenol, and she ended up taking seizures because of the Tylenol, and that's what ended up killing her. Cheyenne had cancer real bad, and Cheyenne Maria had problems ever since she was a baby. But they're doing okay. They're in heaven. But the ones we have now, they're doing a lot better, and I can't hear nobody.
Well, time out, because
Okay, time
it's
out.
also
What are you
because of
doing?
money.
Playing football.
What?
I said, you playing football.
Time out.
Yeah, I heard you say time out.
Yeah, we're playing football. All right. It's also due to money, though, too, a few times. And you
Yeah,
can't
I
say-
understand that, yeah.
So
But
wait a
they-
minute. Don't
but they
try to
should
make
have
the
never told
audience
us to
think
give
I'm
her
full.
Tylenol.
It was Tylenol in that case, but it was money on the other case.
Yes, very true.
Don't argue with the host. The host knows it all. I'm
And the
just
same with Playboy. Playboy, they wouldn't. They said there was no saving him because he was taking seizures and heart attack all at the same time, and he took 17 seizures in one day because they wouldn't give him no kind of medication or nothing. And again, the lack of money. It's not that we don't want to take care of our animals, because we do, because we love our animals, but in our case, they're not animals, they're humanoids.
Right. Well, for me, they're children, so.
Well, those are your children, but we got humanoids.
I got my grandchildren. We won't go there. Let's not argue. We're running out of daylight, and he has a sound off to do. So go to your next segment.
Well, we have to say get well to Joey and
What about
Kevin
Chris?
and baby Jimmy. Hello to George, Vince, John, Michael, Bobby, Ronnie, Eric, and Jay, and Tony, and Brad, and Janet. And happy birthdays to George, Vince, John, Michael, Mike, Bobby, and Ronnie. And Al. And Diane, because we can't forget you guys, because you guys are family. I said family.
I heard that.
That includes Diane.
You look like you're mad.
Who's mad?
You look like you're pissed.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not pissed. I'm not upset.
Well, you can see it because I'm recording it.
I'm good. I just look that way sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
All right, well, keep it up. We're moving up. We're running out of his sound.
Oh, good. Then I can't tell you what's for dinner. So I'll talk to you later.
Wait a minute.
Bye.
Wait a minute.
No, be careful coming home, everybody. And
Hold
Chris,
on a minute.
better-
Didn't you
better come
forgot-
home and
you
lay
didn't
down,
say
'cause
the
you don't look
birthdays.
good. You're over there shaking like a leaf.
She just said the birthdays.
Did she say the birthdays?
She said you and Diane.
Oh, she
Say
did
to
say
Al,
the birthdays.
Diane Torcaso, family.
Okay, I got something to say. I want to say hello to the person that took off in the black car that was visiting you, who's a chicken. I want to say hi to all Kathy and Donna's chicken friends.
That was Jay and Mike.
Bok
Hi,
bok.
Chicken Jay and Chicken Mike.
Bok
And I
bok.
hope the chickens see this.
Yeah, I'm sure they will when they come in tonight or tomorrow.
Tell them I said they're chickens until they
I
let me
won't
see
have
them
to
in
tell them.
person.
You're going to tell them yourself.
Oh, good. I hope so.
Bok,
All right, well, we
bok.
got to throw we got to get to the next call and then Chris.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Be careful coming home.
All right, God
And
bless you. And I
I'll
still
leave
don't know
voicemail
what's
on
for
your
dinner.
phone. No, I ain't telling you what's for dinner because you're not going to eat it anyway.
You're probably right.
I'll kick your ass.
I don't say that A word on my show.
No, you got to eat.
It's
I make sure
G-rated,
you eat.
G-rated.
I make sure you eat, and I cook meals for you so you have something to eat so you don't starve to death.
Well, we appreciate
Do you
it.
think the other viewers want to hear this?
Yeah.
You're terrible.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year because our Christmas was yesterday. I'm
Yeah,
hanging
Merry
out.
Christmas.
Thank you.
Happy
Talk to
New
you guys
Year.
Later. Roll. Yeah, what are you doing? What is that for?
That means you got to go.
Yeah, It looks like you're playing or doing something there. Rolling dough or something? Okay, now you want 10. Okay,
Come
bye.
on, Ian. We got things to do.
All right, bye. Well, quit talking.
You're the one that's talking. Will you move forward
Gee,
to
isn't that
Diane,
amusing?
please?
We love you.
We love you guys,
Give
too.
me a
Keep up
headache.
the good work. I can
Thanks.
shake my head no, too. Bye.
All right, bye. Shake your head now. All right, that don't sound right. How about we go to
Is there another
Diane?
caller? Is there another caller?
I think she's on the phone. I don't know.
No other caller. Okay, so I'm going to go to my sound off.
We can go your sound off.
Yeah,
You sure you gonna go sound off? What do you get sound off on?
I don't know.
All right, go
I'll
ahead,
fi-
start
I'll find out.
sounding.
When we're getting
Wait,
back
time
to...
out, time out for me. Calm down. Take a 2-second break. Take a deep breath. No, go ahead.
Getting back to the property reassessment,
Yes.
I would like the people at the county office, I think everyone should be fired. And I'll tell you why I
Uh-oh.
feel that way, is because when people are doing the reassessments, they have a white vehicle going on people's streets with a yellow flashing light, and they take pictures of people's property, and they don't even go inside the property, and they're assessing people's property, so that's the wrong way of doing it.
Well, they're not allowed legally to go into a property unless they're invited.
So what you would do is, when you're coming on people's streets,
They should alert you when they're coming.
it should alert you, and then there should be a paper sent to people's houses and say when they're coming, and then you have so many days they allow, like, for example, 3 weeks to allow, and then you check off a box. Either you want them to come in your house or you don't want them. And then if they do, you check off yes, and then you're inviting them to come in, and they set up a time for you to visit your house and do the assessment inside the house.
Well, I do want to make a quick side note. When they did the assessment for me, they left my gate open, and had I had an animal, like a dog, the dog would have been gone. They just totally just took off. I thought that I had a prowler. You know, so I do want to make that is the improper way to do it. So I have to concur with you on that part. But we have another call, so you might want to get that. Or Annette can get it, I don't care. Somebody got to get you got sound off time, so get the call and do your sound
Go ahead,
off.
call a caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chuck.
Hey, how you doing? It's me, Chuck. How I'm doing?
Turn your TV down.
Okay. Turn the TV down, Mom. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to talk about the assessment. I got my assessment back, and they only dropped my property by $900.
Okay.
And it's really a shame because my house is only worth $68,000
Right.
from a real estate appraiser, and the county thinks it's worth $107,000 or $108,000. If I was to sell it tomorrow, I can only get $68,000.
Okay, well,
for it.
Chuck, did you apply for an appeals process?
Yes, I already went through the appeals process.
Okay, did you lose it?
And I listened to your spiel about with the lawyer right now, and I told Chris that I was going to call in.
All right.
Okay? And I think this is a big problem for a lot of us low-income people.
Yes, it is.
And they're trying to drive us out of our houses right now, and after we worked so hard to get in them in the first place.
Well, Chuck, here's what you need to do. Consider taking it to the common pleas court, and I would also pay attention to or call the real estate office, and you can actually appeal next year also, every year like the lawyer said, but I would contact them right away. You could probably do a common pleas court case, and you may be able to get assistance to file the fee. You may be able to get it waived, as he was saying on the video. So that's what I would do now. We are running out of time, but what I would say is definitely do that. I know that I have a case coming up in a few days. If I do not have a victory in that for any reason, I will be definitely going to the common plea court, and that's what you should do. I recommend that. I agree with you. It does feel that they are trying to take certain people out of their home. That's not in reality what's probably going on, but it certainly feels that way. So are you still with us, Chuck?
Oh, yes, I am. One thing I am having done is I'm having my appraiser who has done the actual appraiser go to bat for me right now.
There
down
you
at the
go.
Appeals court. So,
And they can get the proper comparables, so you should probably have a victory. What I would like you to do is to inform Chris, if you know him personally, and us, whenever you have new information, say like, I don't know, February, March, or April, on another episode, just give us a call. It won't be the same topic. Give us a call and let us know.
oh,
But
I am going to keep you guys informed on this because
Yeah,
it's a
definitely.
matter, because our home is our castle right there, and all of us are in the same boat, and we must go and fight this all the way.
I agree.
We must remain in our castles right there.
Well, one thing I will say to you is if you get on the internet, Chuck, when I was saying earlier about going to my website, let's just say that you need to go there more often.
I do go to your website.
Well, go there more often because there's going to be some major changes. I can't get into it, and we owe Chris 4 more minutes, so I'm going to have to ask you to call us in real life because we're going to have to give Chris his sound off time or he may throw me off the boat.
Okay, I'm going to let Chris get on there. All
All
right?
right, God bless you.
I'll see you guys later, and have a good night.
God bless you and thanks.
And drive safe home.
I will. I'll wear my seatbelt too.
All right.
Chris doesn't, but I will.
I know.
God bless you.
All right, bye-bye.
Go ahead.
And
And that's because of an injury, by the way. He can't wear it. Go ahead.
Another thing is with the appeals.
3 minutes.
With the appeals, people that live like near food banks, if you live near, for example, cemeteries, if you live near jails, if you live near clubs or bars, take pictures of those, because those facilities also lower your property value.
All right. So
And
that's
also
good advice.
Section 8 housing also lowers your property value.
Okay.
And if there's like CRRs or personal care homes in your neighborhood, take pictures of those also.
All right. All right, well, we're going to have to move forward. Do you have any other sound off?
No, I don't.
You sure you don't have anything at all?
Well, I would like to have people get informed, more informed of political activities involving the people paying their fair share of taxes, corporations. They need to pay their fair share, so there's an organization I'd like to see people to get more involved in. It's One Pittsburgh, and you can go on their website. It's onepittsburgh.com, and it's all their activities.
Is it onepittsburgh.com or onepittsburgh.org?
Onepittsburgh.com.
Okay, onepittsburgh.com. Do you have a 1 minute sound off?
Yes, I do.
You only have about a minute.
And this is a sound off. This is for people who
Don't.
take their pets and drop them off in alleys and streets. You need to stop doing that because you're hurting the animals. And if you don't want animals in the first place, you have no business getting them. And that's why we lost our poor, shy, spooky Annabelle or whatever, boy or girl, that was hit with a car on January 3rd, the night of January 3rd, because she was either born a stray because of another cat that was dumped and treated like a bag of garbage. And
That hurt. That's not funny. That's not funny.
I'm really sick and tired of it.
Okay, calm down,
It needs
calm
to stop.
Okay, calm down. Calm down.
And there needs to be a law passed, and we're going to work on this law being passed, that when you dump your animal, cat or dog or rabbit or whatever you have, into the streets or alleys, we're going to have you fined up to $2,000 to $3,000 or $5,000 or $6,000 plus jail time.
Okay, we gotta calm down.
And you'll get jail time.
Okay, calm down. All right, real quickly, because I could do it faster. Yes, we are going to work on getting the law passed that if you abandon your animal, not animal, but animal, you will face jail time. And we're not going to play, because you know I can be tough. And believe me, when it comes to animals, I'm Superman, 20 times Superman. But in the meantime, calm down, America. Till next time, remember that you and humanity really does matter.
Back not all that long ago on the Heartland family farm, fires burning warm at night, granting shelter from the storm. We could swim and fish all day, not a worry or a care. When we got back to